Well, how you doing, everybody? Actually, it's just you. I don't know, is there someone behind you? I don't know. I decided to go back to starting with music. Thank you, YouTube. I see your copyright-free music. So today we're gonna study ratio and proportion word problems. And I have a new cute mug of my son. Another Christmas gift. All right, let me turn down my beats for a moment here. All right, so solving ratio and proportion word problems. We got 3 steps and you don't even have to remember them. They're just kind of common sense things. They'll be built into your DNA if you do enough of these. But we're gonna write the given ratio, we're gonna set up a proportion, and we're gonna solve a proportion, all right? So let's just get started right now. I'm gonna write a problem on the board. We're gonna do 3 problems. Boom, okay, well, first thing I want you to do is give it a try on your own. So hit pause, pause, unpause. All right, well, let's go get this problem, all right? So first thing we gotta do is we gotta write a given ratio. A ratio is just a fraction, and you can't have a proportion problem if it doesn't give you a ratio. A ratio has got to be there, so let's find it in this one. It says a rectangle has a width to height ratio of 5:3. Got it, right? That's our money there. The rectangle is 400 centimeters wide. How tall is it? Wow, what a beautiful question. So let's go see, where's my blue marker? Here we go. So what I mean is, first just write the ratio. So in this case, I'm gonna write 5. Of course, doesn't work. Who gave me a marker that doesn't work? Okay, don't worry, I have more. You know, sometimes, hey, just try to keep you on your toes a little bit. All right. Who was expecting that? Were you expecting that? I don't think so. Maybe you were. All right, so 5/3. You could also write 3/5. It doesn't matter. So over here, now what I'm going to do, maybe I'll use pink for it to stand. No, purple. All right, what I'm going to do is right here for the 5, I'm just going to write that is the width, right? Because it's width to height. So width to height ratio. Okay, so that's a ratio. And now to turn it into a proportion, we're gonna make an equal sign, and it's gonna equal another ratio. And that's what a proportion is. It's 2 ratios that are the same. So we have width to height. Now the key is this second ratio has gotta be the same as the first one. So if the first one is width to height, your second one sure as hell can't be height to width, right? I mean, you've gotta put the width on top. Same, it's got to be consistent. Say consistent. I know you said it. I heard you. All right. So now we're looking up here. So now with the given problem, right? So step number 1 is done. Step 2, we're going to set up that proportion. It says our rectangle is 400 centimeters wide. So we're going to be 400. Now, how tall is it? Oh, beautiful, right? So the height is what we're solving for, x. So as far as our little recipe is concerned, right? We wrote down a ratio, we set up a proportion. Lastly, all we gotta do is solve it. By the way, I got videos on how to solve a proportion. Ding, up there in the corner. I'm gonna see if I know how to do that, actually. But let's just solve it right here. I'm gonna use the cross multiplying method. All right, so what I would do is multiply the top of one ratio to the bottom of the other and say 5 times x is equal to 400 times 3. So 5 times x is equal to 1200. Now divide by 5. Oh my gosh. Anyway, and we got 240. Isn't that beautiful? That is, right? Set up the proportion. Well, write the ratio that's given, set a proportion, solve proportion, and you are done. Maybe you want to put units on that final answer if you'd like. All right, I'm warmed up. We want to try another one? Yes? Good. All right, problem number 2. Let's take a look at it. So we have 3 tablespoons of sugar are needed to make 30 ounces of barbecue sauce. How many tablespoons, so BBQ is barbecue, right? How many tablespoons are required for 140 ounces? Excellent. There's a lot of ways you can just kind of figure these problems out, but I think for this video, let's just lean into our recipe. Hey, get it? Recipe for solving problems, recipe for barbecue sauce. Let's go. All right, so write the given ratio. So right here at the start, it says it's 3 tablespoons for 30 ounces. So that's our ratio. So let's write 3 is to 30. And we want to keep track of our units. So let's go over here and just kind of remember that the 3 is a tablespoon and the 30 is ounces of barbecue sauce. Okay, so we set up a ratio. Well, we write the ratio. Now let's set up the proportion. So proportion is 2 ratios that are the same. And let's fill in this side. Now again, we've got to be consistent. So if this ratio we use is tablespoons to ounces of barbecue, then over here, we've got to do the same. It's got to be tablespoons to ounces of barbecue sauce, all right? So let's look at here. It says how many tablespoons are required for 140 ounces. So it's giving us 140 and it wants us to figure out how many. So 3 is to 30. If that's the ratio we need to match, what would be to 140, right? So that's set up the proportion, write the proportion, already got the check marks. Now let's solve it. This is when you could cross multiply, but with the variable in the numerator, you can also just multiply both sides by 140. But I'm just gonna stay kind of consistent here and just cross multiply. All right, so that's the cross multiplying step. Multiply the top of one ratio to the bottom of the other ratio. Set them equal to each other. So we get 30x is equal to 420. Divide by 30, and we get 14. So x is equal to 14. So it's going to take, if it takes 3 tablespoons for 30 ounces of barbecue sauce, it's going to take 14 tablespoons for 140 ounces of barbecue sauce. And that's some real practical math there. I know y'all scaled recipes before probably. If not, get in the kitchen, cook something for mom, all right? Cook something for mom. Don't forget about mom. All right, well, that was 2 problems. Promised 3. Let's get that third. All right, well, let's look at this third problem here. Scale drawing, classic proportion problem. You are making a scale drawing of a building, and the height of the building is 34 feet. The scale drawing is 2 centimeters, represents 10 feet in reality. How many centimeters tall will your drawing be? All right, well, hit pause and go get it. Pause. Unpause. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to write the given ratio that's in the problem. So in the problem, here's where it sets the scale. It says 2 centimeters represents 10 feet. So we've got 2 centimeters, but you can put the unit here, or I've been putting it out there. It doesn't matter. So we got 2 to 10, but 2 is in centimeters and 10 is in feet. All right, so that's the ratio. Now let's set up a proportion. We're going to use that to solve. Let's go here. So we've got, we got to be consistent, right? So whatever we put here for reality, because this is drawing, 2 centimeters of draw, 10 feet in reality. And so it's got to be similar over here. We're going to have centimeters for the drawing, has to be in the numerator. And feet in reality down here. So your proportions got to be the same, right? You've got to have equal proportions. If you're comparing centimeters to drawing, to feet in reality, that's got to be the same on the right side. Okay, so let's fill in the proportion. So it gives us 34 feet in reality, and it's asking for the height of that drawing. Beautiful. Well, let's just cross multiply our way to victory here. You could also just multiply by 34 both sides. But we're going to get 10 times x is equal to 2 times 34. So 10 times x is equal to 68. So x is equal to 6.8 centimeters. And sometimes it's fun to kind of go back and put that here, put that in there, you know, and you can see a bunch of other cool ways of doing the problem. Like instead of cross multiplying, you could actually just be like, hey, all I have to do is multiply that by 5. What's 6.8 times 5? 6.8 times 5 is 34. I'll be damned. Again, you know, a lot of ways to do these problems, but, you know, c'est la vie. This is the way we did this problem. Let's put on some more music here for you and close this out. All right, let's bring it down here. In summary, if it's a proportion problem, you have to be given a ratio. So look for the ratio. Put the units of the ratio and then set up the proportion. Solving the proportion, there's a lot of ways to do it. You can always cross multiply, or you can find other creative ways of doing it. All right. Well, anyways, I hope you're having a beautiful day. You're a beautiful person. You deserve to have a good day. And you'll get this. Don't worry. You'll get it. You'll get it.